starting to get a little jittery, and she was, but you got right up there around her neck, and she just settled back down. Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you again. See you again. That was a wonderful song.
I was going to do it.
Yes, she really likes shoes.
About two?
She is.
Hey. Good morning. Jay Hobson. Larry and Judy. Okay, yeah. Nice to meet you. Sorry you didn't make it on time for our church service this morning, but your advertising wasn't very good. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Touches so many lives.
So now we're you guys live here in town? Or? Okay.
She did a lot in the back of the house. You guys were in the back.
Yes.
She would be working her way off.
Jump in and see, yeah.
I probably have the
We've got
name.
so
I did,
this
and
morning
I
we're
tried
going to hear
to
a
on my
presentation from
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the original word pictures of Oklahoma. That is excellent. And our fourth person is Lori Canastro, generator.
You want to get around it, but you want to see the
Nice to meet you.
So,
You all ready? Go ahead and ring the bell and give me
absolutely.
Some over here, right behind her. They're right beside us.
Your names one more time. Larry.
Larry.
Oh, no, good. Very good.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. So
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, she just doesn't eat. Soft meat.
I think I'm not muted.
No, you should be good.
There we go.
Before the
It's there.
program officially starts, I'd like everybody to just take a look at Persis. Right now, she's doing something that can't be taught. It's true. She's got her paw on Roxy's knee, and that's her way of making a personal contact.
And she had first connected with the little girl on the lap. That's where her paw was first. We call it her cousin.
Many other people in different areas that have comfort dogs are a little bit jealous of us because our dog does that and they can't get theirs too. Just wanted you to see it.
Okay, well, good morning again, and thank you again for inviting us. We're pretty proud of this ministry, and we're pretty proud of Persis. So Persis is 5 years old. She was born January 7th of 2019. And at the age of about 8 weeks old, when they go to the breeders, they select the dogs. And the first thing that happens is you take the puppy, turn it upside down in your hand, and you play with their paws. And if they pull away, they won't be selected. If they will let you play with their paws, then they have the demeanor of being calm and comforting. And so then at 8 weeks, they go into training immediately. So there's about 2,000 hours of training that the comfort dogs go through, year and a half or so before they're placed into some place that makes an application for the dog, such as a church, sometimes other organizations or stuff, but it's primarily LCMS churches. So in May of 2021, we received Persis, and so like I said, she is a Lutheran Church Charities comfort dog, but she is sponsored by King of Kings Lutheran Church out of Glenpool, and that's where we're from. But she is supported by all Northeast Oklahoma, Tulsa area LCMS churches. So we frequently go to other churches, just like what we're doing here. We probably go to King of Kings once a month with Persis, because we're typically in other churches and stuff, in Claremore, in Pryor, in Ponca City, in Stillwater, just all over where people want her. She gets to be known real well through the LWML organization. They are tremendous support for this ministry, both in prayers and support and financial stuff. So that's kind of how we get to other churches, is they will see Persis as their conventions and meetings, and then they want to share Persis with their congregations and stuff. So the comfort dog is a little different than other types of service dogs. You see she wears a vest. And so that is like other dogs that you see, therapy dogs, service dogs, rescue dogs, those types of things. And typically those dogs you don't pet. They are trained for a specific task, a specific person. Persis, the comfort dog ministry, is trained differently. She is trained for everybody. So on her vest it says, "Please pet me." So that's a little different when you don't know Persis or the other comfort dogs. You kind of come up and you can see in your eyes that you want to pet her, but you say, "I can't because she has a vest." Well, we notice that, so then we invite you to come pet her. So that's part of her training, and the other part is where she has multiple handlers. So we are all handlers. There's, I think, 7 handlers in our ministry. And then we have what's called ministry partners. So there's 10 or so ministry partners. So the handlers are who has the leash. So Persis responds to who has the leash. So as Rick can take the leash and give her a command, she will go and do things with Rick. If Lori or I take it, she will respond to that. The ministry partners are people that are not trained to work with Persis. So we always go out in pairs. There's always 2 of us. So one is dedicated to Persis, the handler, 100% responsible for Persis. The ministry partner is the person we use to connect with people. So Persis is a bridge. That's what she is. She enables people to be calm, people to talk, and then the handlers watch Persis to make sure she's in the place where she needs to be. With little children, put Persis in a down command so she's not, so large to little kids. With adults and stuff, we keep her sitting so you can pet her, and there's other commands we do with her. The ministry partner continues the conversation. So if there's something where Persis needs to go outside to the bathroom, we'll know that so we can take her outside, but we don't lose that connection. The ministry partner continues that conversation. And so we go outside with her and we bring her right back in. The really cool thing about these dogs, she will do her business on command. That's pretty special. We have pets of our own, all of us do, and so it's like, okay, well, we got a fenced-in backyard. You open the door, you let the dog out, they do their business, they come in. So part of our training is like, no, she's on a leash. You take her outside, and you tell her, hurry up, and she will go outside, do her business, and back in we go. So when you're in a situation, so just like now, and so she needs to go out, she can go outside, give her command, she'll come right back in, and we can continue our conversation. As we visit hospitals and stuff, Roxy used to go to the Children's Hospital in Oklahoma City with another comfort dog, and you're seeing, 100 and some odd kids, every day. So you're on the 8th floor or something, the person's kind of nervous, well, it was Rufus there. And it's like, okay, so you go outside, find a patch of grass, tell her, hurry up, back inside you go. So it's pretty cool about how this handler and ministry partner system works. So she has like 8 bosses. So, but that's part of her training. She's trained with different people all the time. So she goes to places like in people's homes when they request it. Yes?
On average, how many handlers does a comfort dog have?
Anywhere from like 6 to 8, maybe 10. 6 works really well because, again, we all need to do the same thing. And our training is so we all do the same commands. And so just like you probably wouldn't want to have 6 bosses that tell you to do different things. So we minimize that with her, and so then she gets to know people. So good question, though. She goes to places, like into people's homes, churches, hospitals. She attends Bible study classes. We go to funerals when we're invited with her. We've learned the hard way with funerals. It's not to be about her. She's there to comfort people. So we find during the service, we are typically not in the service. Where she shines is afterwards, when you're in the reception hall and stuff. Then she brings that comfort. Then you see people smile. Starts with the kids. Kids will come to her just like here. They smile and they pet her and stuff. Then the adults see that. The grandparents see that. So everybody starts to smile. You start the healing process. But if need be, we will be in the church service. And so we have been there, and that's difficult. Yep. She goes to schools. Kids will read to her. A lot of times kids will be, as they're young and learning how to speak and read words, they're embarrassed to say something because they don't like to speak in front of people or they don't know the words, but they will talk to Persis. They will read to her all day long. And Persis will just sit there and listen to them. She does other fun things. They have the, the polar plunge. So where the police officers have a fundraiser in the middle of the winter and they all go jump in the pool, crazy people. And so then we have Persis there. And so she gets to see all these people scream and holler and get out of the pool, and then they find Persis. So she gets to do fun things also. She also attends Camp Luther Homa. If any of you ever go to Camp Luther Homa, she is there periodically, different times of the year, different activities and stuff. So she goes there. So like I said, she's part of the Lutheran Church Charities. It is a national organization. There are about 130 dogs in 27 states across the United States. So they have a convention every once in a while, every couple of years, and here's the convention from last year. So Persis is there. Challenge you to find her. We know where she is, but there was over 90 dogs there in one hotel for a week. And so you can imagine the fur that is around the hotel. But it is just awesome to see this group of hundreds of people and 90 dogs, all like her, all well-trained, attending these conferences from, and you've been to conferences, you know, they start at 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, they go through the middle of the afternoon and dinners and all those things. So it's pretty special thing that they do with her. So Persis is a little special in the fact that she is multi-vested. So she has her standard vest, and then she also has a military vest and a police vest. And so it looks the same other than the insignia on there. Since I was a former police officer, I can vest her with the police vest. And then I wear a shirt that has the same badge and everything on it. And so what that enables us to do is I can go into 911 centers, I can go into police stations, I go see the firemen, so we do that, and ambulances and those types of things. So we serve all first responders. So when there's an event that happens with first responders, either to them themselves traumatic or the people that they serve, then they will call us. And so we have confidentiality agreements, we have all these legal things, and since I was a former officer, like I said, I can walk into a 911 center and have no problems with that. We also have a handler that is veterans, so then we can put a camouflage vest onto her, and then we can go to veterans events. We go to yellow ribbon events, we go to pre-deployment events, those types of things. So she's triple vested. There, out of the 130, there's only a handful of dogs that are triple vested like that. So she is a working dog. She's expected to work 5 to 6 days a week, and she does. She stays very busy, but she also has fun. So Persis is a dog. So here she is as a puppy, and then after we got her, she's from Chicago, so she loves it when it's cold. And so as you guys may have pets, and we call it like dog 101, you know, heel, sit, come, all those types of things. She's not so much that way because everything is on a leash with her. So when she's outside, like in this picture, there's no leash, there's no vest, there's no collar and stuff. So she's just a dog. And I'm out here when it's 20 degrees out and it's snowing. I love this. I do not want to come inside. So we have to work on it to get her inside. And so here again, yep, she's a dog. So she gets into the water and she loves water. So Roxy has a story where Persis kind of drug her down the ditch and through the water and all those things. Yeah, so we got to be careful with water with her. So she loves that. And just some more training and things, you know, pictures when she was a pup and as she was growing old, training. Pretty nice picture of her, you know, sitting. That's just a real nice picture of her. And then training. So we go to Chicago where they have the training and other dogs will be there. If we get new handlers, then they will go and they bring Persis to the training. So that's what's going on in this other picture here. She thinks a pumpkin is a ball. So she will play with the pumpkin. She'll bat it with her paws and all those types of things. We go to the children's hospital. Here she's with people, and she's kind of a ham, so she likes to have her picture taken. And here's some of these moments, you know, where she'll just snuggle up to somebody.
This was one of our DCEs, and she had just lost her dog. And Persis knew something was not right, so she sees her, you know, quite a bit during the month for different churches that we visit. She's at a different church, and she hadn't said anything, and then she said, I just need Persis. And she sat down, and then she let us know that 2 of her dogs had been put down because they were sick.
So these 2 pictures here, first one on the left here is Persis in Uvalde, and the blonde is one of, she works for LCC, Bonnie Fierce, so she's the one in charge of the disaster response and stuff. The other girl in the dark hair, she was a bus driver for Uvalde, and so she had to transport the students from the school to the hospital. And so this was a year afterwards, and we were there. So you can see how, here's this prayer chain, and how Persis just locks into her. So the next one was kind of interesting. We went down to Uvalde for another request. And as we were going down, we stopped in Fort Worth to attend the church where there's a couple other comfort dogs. So they asked Roxy, well, what are you doing, this next week? Well, okay, we're coming home, and stuff. And, well, could you stop on the way back? It's like, sure, we'll do this. So there's an event. It's a national organization, but it's not really well known. And so it's a group of people that get together who have recently lost their children. And so they have this outdoor venue where there's this church, but there's no walls. And then there's a conference center, again, and there's no walls. And there's a pond, reflecting pond and stuff, so they asked us to come. And we were there with one of the other dogs from Fort Worth. And so we're in this church, and they recognized us, said, Persis and Phoebe? Pax. Persis and Pax are here for you. There's a few hundred people here. This place is packed. And so we're in the back of the church, and there's not much room. And so during the ceremony, people would get up and want to come pet the dogs. So we ended up, there's not enough room, so we went out into the aisle, and then more people would come, would pet the dogs during the ceremony, and then they would go back to their chairs. And so then after that ceremony, they went outside and they had candles in bags that would float. And they, as they mentioned the child's name, then they take the candle and put it in the pond. Huge emotional situation. Pretty cool. So here's another one. I'll let Roxy talk about this one, these three boys.
These three little boys are in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and they lost their mom. They don't have a dad, and they had seen big pictures of Persis, and they got a hold of us and asked us if we would be there for their mom's funeral. We've always been taught to stay in the back. It's not about the dog. These three little boys sat on the floor through their whole mom's service and just sat and pet her. And then when the lady that's now in charge of them, which ended up to be the aunt of these three boys, she said wanted them to come back and be with the family during the service, and they went back and they just lost it. They wanted to sit by Persis, and so these are my little boys. So at least once a month I drive to Fort Worth to go see these guys.
Fort Smith,
and go see these guys. And the one on the far right, that's Dax. The middle is Dagan. They're twins. And then we got Cashton. Well, the one on the far right is Dax. And whenever we're there, he goes, I like Daniel better than Persis.
Daniel was a comfort dog from Joplin.
Daniel's on the other side. Daniel doesn't go out much. He has a big church, and he does a lot of stuff there in town. So I told him, we're not friends anymore. And so now every time we go, he goes, I still like Daniel better. So I was just there a couple days ago, and I said, you know what? And he said, I know. I should like Persis better. Yeah, I kind of do now. So when the principal was there, because it's a little Lutheran school, during the service, we were egging him on, and he was laughing, and the principal there said, keep it up, because I haven't seen that kid laugh for over a year. So we were there just Wednesday, and we usually just spend the day with them. And the one in the Dax now is seeing a therapist, and I had a picture of him nose to nose on the floor for about 15 minutes, and he looks at me, and my name's Roxy. He calls me Rocky because he knows it bugs me. So he said, hey, Rocky, and I said, what? And he said, she's a better therapist than what I'm paying for. And I said, oh, okay. So those are our boys.
So then last summer, I don't remember when, during football season last fall, so there was a shooting at Choctaw High School. And so we got called to that. And so Persis with Rufus and Miriam, and I think Triton, the other dog from Texas, came. And Joy came. So maybe Lori could explain a little bit about the Choctaw?
happened in their school. And we were asked to be there the first day they went back to school after that event happened. And so we were there, not right when they opened, but pretty quickly after. I've always thought on a deployment, does it really matter to be there with a dog? And I can tell you that within 5 minutes of arriving at their office area, we were waiting for them to coordinate some things in the office. A boy came and sat down, and he sat and talked with Persis. First he asked me, do you know what happened here? And I said, yes. And then he said, were you here? And I said, no. So he told me everything that happened. He told me what he was thinking, what he felt, the fear that would happen when a parent doesn't know where a child is, and that had happened to him. So we visited with people that were there when that event happened. We visited with people from the school that in one day, some of the things that they trusted went away. We visited with their ROTC because the ROTC played a very significant role in helping people be safe in that stadium when it was happening. We visited with people that were injured. And I want to tell you the dog is definitely the bridge that makes people feel comfortable as they sit and pet, they talk. And some of that healing starts to happen. So the biggest thing I think that we do, because we're taught to show up and shut up, we sit there and we just show the love of Jesus to people who need to see that in action.
Thank you. So, Persis, part of her training, she does not receive any treats. She is not treat trained. A lot of the reason is we want her to interact with people. So she gets that human connection. The praise, things you hear about when you train your own dog, a lot of praise, praise, praise. Persis gets a tremendous amount of that. And so at the end of the day, she gets what's called a paycheck. So after she's done working, she gets a paycheck. So what she gets is a full body massage from nose to tail. And she just loves it. You play with her paws and you pet her. And really what we're doing is checking her over. If she picked up something, a bug or a bite or a scratch or something. So we're doing that too. But also she just loves this.
And she does snore.
Yep. Okay, so part of this vesting that we talked about, we have the military service and we have the law enforcement service. And so she has her own special card for the police ministry and things. And so like I said, we can go into the dispatch centers, and here's some dispatchers. And Persis sometimes will relieve the dispatchers. So that's what she's doing there. They're taking a break. So she's there, and she's kind of a ham, So I don't know what she's telling the officers, but obviously she likes what she's doing. So she is. Yep. And so here we're with the firemen and stuff and more police department and things. So we go visit them for special events. And then for the veterans, we go to the yellow ribbon ceremonies. We work with the coffee bunker here in Tulsa. If you're not familiar with them, it's a really good organization for veterans. Helps support veterans as they return from service and stuff, to get them in organizations to help them. You can look up the Coffee Bunker and what they do. Tremendous organization that we're involved with. And here's some more information or pictures of what they do and things. And just different places that we go. The 138th Air Wing, we've been there a couple times for their pre-deployment stuff. And so, like I said, Persis is part of Lutheran Church Charities. So what you guys are familiar with is the LERT program. You have that ministry in your church. So thank you to Denny, as this Dreco event that happened, they invited us to come walk with them during this event. And because of that, we were invited to go to the LERT National Conference in St. Louis. So some things we learned there, and maybe Denny has shared some of this stuff with you. What they've learned is less volunteers, slow down, spend more time listening to homeowners. Like Lori said, our job is pretty simple. Show up, shut up, and listen. That's what we do. We do that really well. We try to understand the PTSD, try to send 2 local pastors, and now they have learned get a comfort dog involved. Bring a comfort dog into that ministry. Schedule dinners for the homeowners and stuff. Again, get a comfort dog involved. Lets people calm down. And then they can tell about their events, things that are bothering them. Helps people like Denny understand how to support them and how we can work with you guys, walk with you guys in these situations. It can help the alert team do what their task is, to clean up and to minister to the people, but yet we can be there with Persis to help the homeowners because they're really worried about their property. They're worried about the alert members, that they're safe. So we can be there and help them be calm so then the alert team can be there to do their job. So it's a really good partnership. Like I said, it's all about the same organization, Lutheran Church Charities. And so, Denny, Roxy asked you about that gal. This is her. So, kind of a special thing because of this. This gal has now asked us to be involved with a person that she's going to adopt to go through the court system, and he wants Persis to be there to be with him going through the court system. So, because of that connection, where Denny invited us there, it's a full circle type of a thing. And then there was another one that we got invited to, and this was through that coffee bunker thing. And you can see, the alert team. We have Persis here with a couple of our handlers, and then you see this heart. So Lutheran Church Charities also has hearts of mercy and compassion. So it's these hearts and crosses, and you'll see some more of these. So we're fortunate here in the Tulsa area that we have you here with the alert team. We have Persis, the Comfort Dog Ministry, and CTR, Christ the Redeemer in Tulsa, has just recently been offered association or affiliate membership where they are going to be supplying the hearts and the crosses. So as we go out to these events, and there's a need for this, either a heart or a heart and a cross, this can all happen in the Tulsa area. So that's pretty special to have all three of those here in the Tulsa area.
When there's one of these tragedies, you'll see them on TV. And oftentimes, the number of tragedies will determine how many of these crosses are used. And you'll see the white crosses, you've seen them on the news. That's what Steve's talking about. Yep. We're now going to be blessed to have those right here.
Yep.
We gave one to the 3 boys, and I thought, this isn't going to mean much to them at the time. And during the service, when we gave it to them, the fellowship afterwards, he said, "Can I just walk around right now and have all these people sign it?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "What are they going to put on there?" And I said, "They can put whatever they want." And he said, "And then I can look at it later?" And I thought, oh my gosh, this is when it hit me, because I thought, adults, I get it, but when this little boy, and so he always tells me, he said, "That's at the end of my bed when I go to bed." And he said, "I write these things," and he said, "People said funny things about my mom," and he didn't, this just made him laugh.
Yeah. And again, it's that presence. The presence of the alert ministry, the presence of the comfort dog, the presence of the heart and crosses. It's that presence ministry. Okay, now we'll get into, maybe, move my mouse, Uvalde. We don't want to spend a lot of time with Uvalde, and Uvalde is very difficult. So we were asked to go there. Significant event, 19 students, 2 teachers.
We got a lot of kids, so how to go on.
Well, does Ms. Robbins' class do you have any questions? And then maybe you can go back to your class. Do you guys have any questions before you go back to class?
You won't take this we can move on from this actually, probably,
Yeah.
if they want to stay.
I want to stay.
Your call.
They want to stay. They said
Okay.
they want to stay. So we'll just go on.
All right. So as we were there, you start to, like what we've talked about, the presence of Jesus, the presence of God. And so have another slide that I would like to ask Pastor to read, because I'll never make it through this.
Sure. And what you have written there is same question we've asked so many terrible times. Why? Another mass shooting at an elementary school. So many little children. Why? Our hearts break again. The next days are going to be filled with people claiming to know what needs to be fixed, what laws need to be changed, what steps need to be taken to prevent this from ever happening again. But I'm afraid people are going to miss the root cause. They're going to overlook the real problem. Jesus tells us out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimony, slander. Here's the real problem in our world. Sin. Sin lives in every one of our hearts. Hatred, anger, lust, discontent, selfishness. Sadly, what lives in our hearts comes out in our lives. What our country needs more than anything else right now is people who preach the gospel of Jesus. There are enough people condemning others. There are plenty of people offering temporary band-aid solutions. There aren't enough people sharing the gospel of Jesus. He offers, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Dear Christian, now is the time to let your light shine. Now is the time to offer hope in the face of death, to point to forgiveness in the face of sin. The only thing that can truly change hearts is the gospel of Jesus. There is rest and peace in Jesus.
Thank you. So we were part of the second deployment, and so there were 5 dogs, and so here's where they came from: Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Tennessee. And so we were there for a week. Here is Robb Elementary School, and you can see the memorials that are there. Robb Elementary School, to this day, is patrolled by Texas State Police.
We were down there just a couple weeks ago, and it was really moving again.
Yeah. So this is the town square. So here's these hearts and crosses. So within 48 hours, 24 hours of being notified, all these teams started converging around the square. We put all these hearts and crosses for people to sign and stuff. And then you can see shortly afterwards, you can see the memorials around the crosses. Most of the crosses are still there today.
They could take them if they wanted to, the families.
Yep. So here we are at the memorial with the dogs taking a picture. So a little bit of a fun thing. So you've all been seeing horse races, and you see how the horses are in the gates, and when the bell rings, the gates open and the horses take off. So Persis was pretty young. She was maybe 3 years old, and they really didn't know if they wanted Persis to go because she was pretty young. So, okay, so we went. So now they want to take a picture. Okay, so we can do that. And so then they said, well, drop the leash. Ugh, drop the leash.
And there's
Oh.
thousands of people around,
Yeah.
camera crews from all over ABC, NBC, CBS.
And so you have this memorial, and you've seen memorials. They'll have candles and flowers and pictures and all these things. And of course, right behind here is a pond. So remember what I said about Persis and water? And so here we are going to take this picture, and they say, drop the leash. And we're like, yeah, no, we don't want to drop this leash. So, okay, so the first picture, and we got 10 of us, you know, because there's 2 with every dog. And so we're getting ready to take the picture. What does Persis do? Boom, gone. So we got her. She didn't get very far. Okay, so let's get her back in and get her backed into there. We have special commands to get her in there. It's like, okay, let's get ready because this is going to be really quick. So we got a picture. So she is.
Notice she doesn't have anybody at the end of her leash. I was so proud of her because everybody else still had a leash.
Yep. So.
She was only 2.5. She's
Yep.
still a big puppy.
And she's full of hope and joy.
She still has a lot of puppy.
Yeah.
She is.
She just turned 5. Lots of puppies.
So here's this one picture that Roxy was talking about where Persis went across the room, got a hold of this person, and see her paw there, just hugs. That's part of her hugging, getting that paw in there. She just knows. Some other pictures. Some of the hospital staff, again, see her paw. Here's with the police officer. See the other dogs? Look at Persis, eye to eye. Yep. then how she just burrows in like that. So then we went back again for the opening of school, and so they had 30 dogs come. So 10 dogs each week for the opening of school. Students would not go back to the classrooms without the dogs. We had to meet them at the bus, take them to the classrooms. And then we were dispersed. So this is from pre-K through high school. So we were dispersed throughout all the different schools and stuff to be there during their school days and things.
And these dogs are trained on weird things, like jet airplanes. They used to be able to fly free. We had to pay, but the dogs got to ride free in an airplane. But because everybody's bringing on octopuses and all kinds of weird things, we do not get to fly her free anymore. But she will, you know how small the chair in front of you is to try and put a purse or anything under there? She will sneak under there and stay there for 8 hours. She has been taught to, they have a training facility up in Chicago of the airline seats, and they train them to do that. Jet airplanes, helicopters, any kind of noise, they're okay. I think they forgot about the buses, because when we took her on the bus, she was like, "You want me to go through that little area, really?" And we're going ahead of her, and she's coming through while everybody's trying to pet her, and she's like, "No, I'm gonna stop. I'm not going to the back of the bus. I'm gonna stop."
Rick just did one of her commands. You saw her looking at him. He said, "Look." And she's to look you directly in the eyes, the person with the leash. That's when you know you've got a connection with her. And she's ready to work.
Okay, that's not
And
going to work.
sometimes you'll get that, whatever.
Well, she learned that.
So like I said, we went back for the first day of school, and so you can see we're around, a lot of the kids around Persis and stuff. And then one of the teachers, I think she had Spanish heritage and stuff. She sat down with Persis, and I don't know what she said. But for about 5 minutes, she was talking to Persis in Spanish. I have no idea, but you see the connection. So that's how tired she gets at the end of the day. That's it. Questions?
Do we take her home for a week?
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty special dog. Pretty special ministry.
You've got a question back there and one here.
Yes.
Was there a hand up on the back row there?
I could see it.
Oh,
Okay.
So there may be one here.
Yes.
Donations, do you guys take donations, or how do you get budgeted?
So we are completely funded by donations and grants and those types of things. Persis, the Comfort Dog Ministry, is not a financial burden to the church, and so it's all by donations and grants. And so we have a QR code that will go right to a Persis fund.
I messed up, I didn't bring it.
But we can get that to you. If you want, you could send a donation to King of Kings Church and then put on the bottom of it Persis Comfort Dog.
And the memo line.
And it'll go right into her account.
It goes
Yeah.
directly to.
It's unfortunate as we're out, some people will not give to the church for just all various reasons. I know you guys have experienced those types of things, you know. So that's why we have created this account. It's just for Persis. It is through King of Kings, but it's just Persis. So people are not giving to the church. They're giving to Persis, to the ministry. So like I said, there's not a financial burden to the church. It's all through donations and grants and those types of things.
So if we put Rick Tavis on the bottom, it won't go to Persis.
No. I'll be the one to answer. No.
No, put Persis, and so she does have a line item account, you know, dedicated funds, those types of things, just like what you guys have for different
I'll
things.
leave a couple of my business cards and stuff too. And like I said, I messed up. I did not bring the QR code.
I can hand some of those out if you want. You want
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah.
And then the grants and stuff, we have a separate account for grants. Kirkpatrick Foundation was gracious to give us a grant. a year or so ago, and maybe it's 2 years now, and that specifically goes to Persis. It can't be used for anything except Persis. So dog food, we can buy dog food, vet bills, grooming, all that stuff. So any of our travel or expenses, that we want to turn in cannot come out of that grant. It's 100% for Persis. And then other things, like I said, LWML, they've given us a grant, and so we can use those as we see fit and those types of things. And then we get donations from people and organizations, stuff too. So thank you for that.
And please, understand you can use her anytime.
Yes.
Call that number and you'll get me. I'm what they call the top dog, so I'm in charge of the ministry. And we will definitely.
We go anywhere.
She's got a calendar that is full, but we can move things around. We have certain things that we do every other week or every week, and they're totally with an agreement that we get called last minute, we pull out and we go where we gotta go. So you've got somebody in your nursing home that you don't think is gonna make it. You want, please do not be afraid to call. That's what we do. Just call me and say, hey, this is what I got going on, and we'll look at our calendar, see what we can move around.
Call your pastor. He can get a hold of us.
Yep.
So
Eddie knows how to get a hold of us.
we are here to serve, to help you.
Because like you said, she pretty much goes to a different church every Sunday. We want to share her. That's what she's about.
How about the kids? Do any of the kids have questions about what she does or how she's trained? The question is, can she come here every week? She has a lot of places she goes.
Yeah.
How about back here? How did she do the computer? She's smart. I don't know. I don't know how she did that.
She even has her own Facebook page. If your parents let you look on Facebook for her, and she'll reply. So she has a very special keyboard for her paws, so she can reply to you on Facebook. Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Yes, a busy girl. Which is great.
How did she come here today? So she lives with Steve and Roxy, and they came by and picked us up with their car, and we drove here.
She rides in the back seat, and you never know she's there.
Yeah, she lays down in the back, and she just rides. She's the best traveler. In the picture right there.
Probably 4.
4 years old. So I think he told you she just turned 5 years old a couple of weeks ago.
And she has a boyfriend. Do you know what a boyfriend is? He made all her bandanas for her. He sent her 9 new bandanas.
His name is Triton, and his is the only name that I know of that doesn't come from either a character of the Bible or a person from the Bible.
He was dumped off at the facility, and they thought, oh, this ain't going to work out good. But he did. He worked out real well. So he is the only one that is not a Bible bird. But why we say it's his boyfriend, we'll have 10, 20, 30 dogs, and they're all different. Sometimes they've seen them, sometimes they've never met the dog. And Triton will walk by, and she'll just follow Triton. She just watches him, so
He's her best.
we laugh.
Yes, sir. Another question right here. How tall is she? I don't know that I can answer that.
27 inches. Up to her shoulder.
But Miss Roxy can tell you what she weighs too, because we have to keep close track of that stuff too.
She weighs 70. She was 74, and I've been putting her on a little diet. So she's about 71 right now. She looks really big because she's got a lot of hair. A lot of hair. So she gets brushed supposedly twice a day. I don't always do that.
So
She
he
gets her
says,
teeth brushed with peanut butter toothpaste. Oh, it is. It's nasty, but she loves it. And then he gets to cut her toenails once a week.
Yep.
stand up here a second, Camden. Camden says he weighs 50 pounds.
Yep, so just think. And then she has to have her feet trimmed, the hair, that's weekly.
Good
Are
question.
all of these comfort dogs, are they all like a retriever? Or
They are all golden retrievers.
okay.
They've found that the golden retrievers are very intelligent dogs, so they're very trainable, but they're social dogs. They love to be with people. And if you were here when we first came and she comes in the door, she is just crazy to come see people. And then she will settle down. But some of that is she was trained during COVID. So she didn't get that human interaction with people.
A year and a half. have. She had no human contact except for her training.
So, they would go to nursing homes, but it was through the window.
The window.
So she has a rise command. Well, she'll come up on the windowsill, and they could interact. We had whiteboards and stuff. The dogs, Persis didn't do it, but the dogs would do Zoom calls. So the dog would look into this computer screen to somebody. So imagine the dog on a computer screen. Dog doesn't know what she's looking at, So that's part of her, is to see people. She so wants to please people. She's so excited. Some of that's also just her too. That's just her temperament, her puppy parts, But then she settles right in and she's fine. Yep. Yes?
So you showed some pictures about going to the Comfort Dog Ministry conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine you all do some training and listen to speakers and kind of gear up towards more recent events and things. Do the dogs get to go to spas and stuff like that?
They do. They have spas there for the dog while we're at the conference and stuff. You sign up to go and things. Then we can sign up for pre-event, and we can go through some remedial training and get her tuned up, get us tuned up more than anything. She has 39 different commands that she knows. And she knows them, and she will test all of us, because we'll get a little bit laxed on some of our commands. And then she'll look at you and it's yeah, okay, I got this, and away she goes. It's no. And then as we get together, it's oh, well, we've been doing this wrong. We've gotten laxed on our training. And so then, once you're back on spot, and then she just loves it. She'll do what she's doing here. She's hugging Rick right now.
You want to show them a front command?
Here's a couple easy commands that will show you.
And all of her commands are specific to serving people,
With me?
the kinds of people we would be working with, and anybody.
Persis, front.
She's I would like to talk. So first of all, she did a with me command. That's the first thing. And that's you're with whoever has the leash. And then she said
Yes,
sit.
she
So
has.
she sat.
Look.
She may have just given her a
Persis,
look command.
look.
Yes, Mom, I'm connected.
Persis, front.
And this is a really helpful command when, maybe there are two people sitting in chairs or wheelchairs side by side. They both want a pet, but there's just not so we can put her on front and then back her between the two of them, and then they can both sit and pet.
You want to watch her do backwards? She can walk backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everything is specific to the kind of ministry she does. She doesn't do hand, shake, things like that.
Yeah, no tricks. Shake and all those types of things. And so again, her commands are human interaction. So like I said, the dog 101, our dog is really good.
Now she's walking backwards. Back.
And she would back all
Back,
day
back.
until Roxy told her to
Back.
stop.
Back.
But Persis takes it to that whole nother level
Oh, you want to see something?
with all of the human interaction commands and
But
stuff.
she just gave her another command. It was free. That tells Persis you're done working for right now. That
And
command's done.
She has to do everything on command. We have to tell her when she can eat on command, because she might be in front of 20 dogs, and if they all go at once to go eat, that would not be fun. So she knows when she gets that, and the free command is her favorite, because then she gets to run in the backyard and do whatever she wants to do.
Or what she just did right now, as soon as you told her free, she broke for the kids.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Persis, come.
Any of you who are
Persis,
Facebookers,
come. Persis, come.
Persis Comfort Dog.
And then it's on her cards.
And Roxy is very good at getting her activities on there. And you can go on there and see what she does.
Good girl.